check. Everything sounds
Microphone
good.
check.
Should I go ahead and just hit the? I can hear
we gotta
you.
share. Let's share first.
A share?
We got to share.
Yeah. Should I go ahead and just end the show now? End on a high note.
End on a high note.
Right?
I don't know what are you trying to say?
What do I do?
don't
Click on my
really.
name again?
I got to get to the page first.
Right post. This is always fun doing the share and then before the show really gets started.
Oh,
What's
crap.
on
I
your
don't know about
mind,
y'all, but
Hyman?
I'm seeing that it shows that we're like live. Are we live?
We are live. We're
We
totally-
Oh, okay.
We even have 3 viewers watching us from the get-go.
God,
Nice.
Joe,
man, they
Hyman,
are
and Sandy.
on the ball.
Did you hear me?
I
Joe,
can't.
Hyman,
Us.
and Sandy.
I can't even share yet because I'm just like slow and stuff.
Is mine the same way? I'm like, I can't even pull it up.
There we
I don't
go.
know what's wrong.
There we go.
What's up with this?
I'm getting the share gun. And
Okay, here
I'm
we
wearing
go.
contacts today, so I don't have to wear my glasses like y'all.
Oh, and I forgot my water upstairs.
I don't have to be the copycat like y'all are.
I know.
You know
it's
what?
like, I forgot my water.
Did I
Everybody's asleep.
There's bumps going on behind me. You know what it is? It's Beast. He likes to climb on the top of his cage, and then he keeps falling down. And it's always in the middle of the night. I'll be sleeping, and then I'm like, because I think someone's trying to break into the basement. I sleep in the
What
basement.
is it?
It's a snake, and so
Oh.
then I'm like,
She's like, oh.
after a minute, I'm like, oh, Beast.
She's like,
Stop it.
oh.
And I go back to sleep.
No.
No,
Today.
Sandy wasn't there when I was in my snake collecting days back at Trinity.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I
so
had
that started here.
That started before I even met you.
yeah.
Did
I
you
used
go
to
to the
have a
rattlesnake
giant-
roundup ever?
Yes. It was like the craziest thing ever. So just in case anyone who's never been, because I know I have a lot of friends up here who are always like, who know I'm into snakes and have always wondered about rattlesnake roundups and stuff like that. Like, they are real. They do happen for any of our friends who are watching.
The rattlesnake roundups. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah,
Yeah. I've
It
always
just
tried to-
happened, didn't it?
they are real.
They are crazy too, and so a lot of you wonder about one of the most unsettling things about the rattlesnake roundup is when you go in, the decibels are like way out the roof, and all you hear is rattlers going off everywhere. It's
Right.
like 1,000,000 babies are all just shaking their rattlers.
Oh
It's
my
like crazy,
Wow.
and so if you're not careful, you have this sense of. Is there something?
There's like
around
something
me?
around you that you're going to get
Oh,
attacked.
no. Mm-mm. I've heard they stink. Is that real? Is that true? I've heard
So snakes have an odor normally, like
Oh.
any other animal, though. I don't think it's any different than like a dog's odor. I think a dog smells worse to me, but
they smell like outside. That's all they smell like.
Oh,
dogs, maybe the people dogs I've met just don't take care of business or something. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know about all that, but I do know about snakes. Snakes stink on their own, but the girls and I, we take them out of the cages and we'll always hang out with them and just chill. So
You bait them?
It's so funny because I remember when Jamie had this huge boa at his house, and he had to go get rats for it to feed it, like live rats. And this rat was probably about this big. And all he does is he kind of slides the plexiglass forward, and he just tosses the rat in and then wraps all around the rat. It was intense.
it was intense.
So it doesn't like stalk it and
No,
leave
as
a rat
soon as
now?
it soon as it saw that it was a rat, it didn't even like like this. It just wham, and then
It
wrapped
just knew. But Sandy, you have to understand. So it was a Burmese python, Joe, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
this thing I got it wasn't even done growing, but I got as a 6-footer.
Yeah.
I had a 6-foot Burmese python as my first snake. And the thing was enormous. But you know what? I could feel comfortable with that thing. Like when it was evening time, I'd open the gates and then he would just slither all around my room and I'd just be like, whatever. He'd come next to me too. And there are times where he'd just chill out and just like, what are you doing?
he was sizing you up to squeeze
He
you.
was not. Stop that. I hate
What he
people
was
who propagate
doing.
that. So I am pro snake, and I hear that story, and people are like, "Oh, she was, the snake was curling up around her, and this whole time he was sizing her up to eat her." And it was like,
So that's not true?
it's not true. It's not true.
So what's it doing? It's
It's
cuddling.
literally- It's going for warmth.
It's just exploring. It's just exploring.
Yeah. If you think a snake knows the size that it can eat and not eat, and it knows if something's too big for it, then it won't go after it.
Right.
If it knows that there may be harm from it, it won't go after it. That whole adage where it's like certain things are more scared of you than you are of it holds true. Snakes are not out to just eat you up, Sandy. Those are. It's the
I
most.
don't believe that.
I know. See, and it's stupid movies like Anaconda. Or whatever,
no, I saw Anaconda, people. And that snake was just eating people left and right.
I mean, it's almost like Jaws. Seriously.
Well, you know what's funny about that? Who was it? Benchley. What's his name? Oh, the guy who. Someone look up who directed Jaws. Anyway, the guy who directed Jaws. He, after he did that, supposedly, I don't know, but supposedly went out and was like a pro shark enthusiast or whatever you want to say
Steven Spielberg
went out and was like, man, I hate it that I made this movie about sharks, and that's not even the closest thing to what they resemble or anything like that. And so it's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? So yeah. Although I still won't go out there, which I've seen other videos where people are attacked in those giant cages or whatever. So it's like, yeah.
You're like, probably not.
Yeah. Stay away from it.
So you wouldn't own a shark?
Get in a cage for the no. I mean, if it was, I don't know. I don't know what the conditions would be for me to have to get in a car, in a whatever.
A cage.
Money.
A cage. Thank you.
Yeah.
In a cage with a shark.
Too, like they're like cruising, and then like every now and then that one will hit that cage, boom, like that. And they say that if that shark really wanted to get in there, there's nothing that you could do. That cage wouldn't stop them at all. And then people are like getting in them. It's like, hey, let's go ahead, let's get in it.
I don't think I've ever anticipated an adrenaline rush. I mean, or what is it? What do you do that? Adrenaline junkies.
Adrenaline junkies.
I don't know. I don't know.
We almost jumped out of a plane, though. So
okay, that's about to say.
Do what?
We almost jumped out of a plane.
Oh, I've done that. I'll never do that again, but I've done that.
Why not? It sounds so.
Oh, you need to tell us about this, Sandy. We don't even know anything about this jumping out of the plane. Okay, I remember, but I want you to tell it.
Okay, so a friend of ours got married in Vegas, and originally she was going to do her vows as we all jumped out, and her sister was like, I'm not going up. And so she got married, and then we all went up. And so I had already said talked too much smack on Facebook and said, I'm going to go jump out of a plane, blah, blah, blah. And at that point I was like, okay, well, I got to go up. You posted it on Facebook. You got to do it now.
Right. Exactly.
And so we went up, and so Eric was the first one to go out. And then I think I was probably the fifth. I think there was 6 of us. I can't remember.
All family? Like you knew everyone who was up there with you?
Yeah, they were all either family or friends of the bride.
Yeah, and this is tandem jumping, so you have a guy attached to your back.
Yeah, I had a guy attached to me. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have anybody. I'll have to find the video, but
you got video?
Yes, I cussed the whole way down.
Eric, find the video. If you're watching this, Eric, find that. Help her find it.
I was he was trying to do all these tricks and stuff, and I'm like, no, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. And
you're like, calm down.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he wanted me to be quiet, and I'm just yelling and stuff. And anyway, so he deployed the parachute like while we're in the clouds. I was the last one to come down, like to land before everybody else. And then we landed not on the landing pad. We landed off like in bushes and stuff.
Oh, wow.
I just thought, this is how I'm going to die. And then I wondered, so did my life insurance, right? Am I paying? I mean, I'm wondering this when it's a little bit too late.
Right.
But it was, oh my goodness. Me trying to describe it the next morning to Brenda, to my sister-in-law. She's asking me how it felt, and I couldn't even formulate my sentences still. I was still kind of shaken about it. So the groom was like, Sandy, we almost had bets that you weren't going to do it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they thought I was going to back out. I'm like, oh, no. I'll always do something once. And I had already talked way too much smack. We were going to do it all right. But anyway, so I didn't end up getting my video just because I thought, oh, how embarrassing. Because I, cussed like a sailor the whole way down. And so I didn't pay for it. Anyway, so I emailed them later and he sent it to me for free. So.
Oh, wow.
Really?
So yeah, it was a lot. I mean, like I said, it was a lot of fun just because I was in a group and stuff, and it was in Vegas, of course. But
right, so it takes.
I'll never do it again.
How long? So from like beginning to end, how long is that whole process take?
Oh my! I was such a bundle of nerves. I honestly don't even remember. I felt like it was really slow, and then it happened. Like I felt like it happened so fast. Maybe about 45 minutes.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So you get like 10, 15 minutes of training.
Yeah.
Right. And then they put you in the airplane, or they partner you up first with somebody.
Yeah, of course. And you have to be honest about your weight. Don't be lying about your weight here. And so then,
yeah, because the parachute has to match both of y'all's weight, or has to be able to hold both of y'all's weight.
Right. And so then he's telling you, and of course, when they're telling me all these things, I'm not registering anything of what he's saying. I'm just like, what? Like, what do you mean? Worst case scenario? What is all that supposed to mean?
Right. Oh my goodness.
And yeah, no, it was crazy. And so one of the girls that was she didn't end up getting to go up with us. She's watching Eric land, and so this guy's got Eric doing all sorts of crazy things, like he's pulling down and then he's going this way and then they're twirling. And so she's panicking, thinking that he's about to crash. Like she doesn't know that it's under control. So she's watching. And so she starts crying.
Oh my goodness.
She didn't know who it is because her husband was up there. So anyway, no, it was great. It's a good time. Yeah. I'll have to show you I'll have to find the video and stuff.
So it probably isn't it's probably not one of the best ideas to do for a wedding then. That's what it sounds
It wasn't. No, it was. Well, you know what? It was unique because I'll always remember it.
Right.
So
for those of y'all wondering, there's Sandy right there. She was it was pretty rough for her.
That's horrible. No, so here's the even funnier part. So the bride, so your guy that's on your back is supposed to get you gloves, get you the goggles, and get you all of this stuff. So the bride doesn't have any goggles and doesn't have any gloves on. So she lands and she's like, are my eyelashes still on? Because her eyes were just going all sorts of ways when she was coming down. And like Eric, all the guys had their gloves on and goggles and they were just protected and warm. And I'm just like my hand froze like in the guns up. I was trying to get a cool picture of the guns up. And I still have that, but I couldn't get my hands to come undone after that. So I think I had the guns up the whole time.
Like
it was so cold. It was in December. So
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was December in Vegas.
20,000. How far up do they take you?
I'm the worst person to ask. I'm telling you, all these details were like, what? We're going in a plane? Yeah, no.
Wow, that is crazy. We've always wanted. We were probably 95% there, weren't we, Jamie?
I mean, we were there and then waiting, man. Remember,
we were hoping that the wind was going to cut down and end up being too windy, and then we sat.
And we drove like 3 hours
videos for like at least an hour. Yeah, and the guys that are the jumpers, they're just like all captivated by how the videos and stuff like this, and we're all looking at each other. How much longer do we have to wait?
Justice was like, as long as it needs to.
Can we leave?
Justice did not. I think it was Justice, right? He did not want to go up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Justice is like really afraid of heights.
Yeah, we had. Yeah.
Whenever we went to the Royal Gorge in Colorado, he was like super white.
Oh man, that was such a blast. That was awesome.
I don't think I realized that Justice was scared of heights.
Oh yeah,
that's funny.
Because we went on the gondola that goes across the gorge, and I was in the gondola, and I'm sticking my head out like this of the windows, like, "Hey, Justice, check this out! You see this?" And he's like, "No, I'm staying right in the middle, right in the middle of the gondola."
We're like, "Look, look, Justice, look down, look! There's so much just air."
Right?
It was like, no.
And he finally got close to a window, but man, he was so He was so scared. It was crazy how white, like he's already white, and then
He
was red, dude. He was
white.
red.
that
That blood was just like coming all up, and he was just like, my head's about to blow.
Yeah, he was not having that at all.
Oh wow, that is crazy. Poor guy.
Yeah. Oh well, that's what it is.
Oh man. So this is called the Weekend Ketchup. We started with this. We actually just made up about 5 minutes before the show. That's how awesome we are, because we are good at putting stuff
together. On the fly.
So really, it's just kind of, we're going to go over what we did this weekend and kind of tell some interesting stories and stuff like that. I thought I would start. If you follow me on Facebook, or if you've seen any of my posts on Facebook, I actually finished the show called The Tiger King. It's not even a show. It's an absolute train wreck. It's
a train wreck.
I cannot believe this is so popular, but I can believe it's so popular.
Why are we even devoting any of this time to this more?
Everyone was talking about it. I just had to find out what it was worth, and you get along and go into that. You find the hole, and you just keep going down the hole. It's terrible. It is terrible how terrible this show is. And then you just think it can't get any worse, and then something else pops up.
But wait, there's more.
More. Wait.
Put that comment up right there.
Hold on.
Yes. And you know what's funny? She is like, she's not even really the main part of the story, but everyone that you talk to cannot stand this woman. It's crazy to me how that's what people get out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm obsessed with her, and I really, so you know that they have, I think I might have mentioned it. I saw where they were going to reopen the cold case of her husband that's missing.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so that's why I'm just like, that's what I'm see what happens with that.
Wow, it's so crazy. We're trying not to give away any spoilers, but
whoops.
I think if you've been anywhere on social media, you kind of know this part of it. But yeah, it's just, I was watching it and I was like, okay, all right, cool. And then somebody else would join the cast, another character, and this is the problem. It's true, it's real life, and these guys are just, you can't believe that people like this exist. I'm just like, I was like totally flabbergasted that they kept adding these people. I was like, how much worse can this get? And all this in this animal thing that they do. They all say they're about animal rights and animal this, but none of them are about animal rights or protecting the animals or protecting the tigers or whatever they are. It has, the tigers and stuff is kind of like, I wouldn't even say secondary. It's more like the third or fourth thing that they're even worried about.
Well, okay. So if I remember correctly, one of Carol's quotes were, she keeps them in a cage to live out the rest of their lives. I'm like, well, what's any different than what Joe's doing? He's parading them around to get money, and she just keeps them locked up, and she's got volunteers
that she doesn't pay. Yeah,
that she doesn't pay. So I'm just saying, she's not any different,
right? Yeah,
that's why,
Jamie. I'm telling you, it's just, they think each one of the people think that they're in the right.
Yeah,
and none of them are in the right. It's just, I am. It's depressing. It's magnetizing. And you want to pull away so bad. I was like, why am I watching this? And it's just, I finished it all the way to the end, and I'm just like, oh. And what's crazy is that I feel like they could keep going.
Actually, they are. I did hear this morning on Kip Paddock that they are going to come up with another episode. And I agree with Jillian's comments. I mean, I do. I agree so much that they are going to find. And she is.
And she is.
So if you're tuning in right now, we're talking about some crazy movie that Joe watched this weekend.
It's a series.
Oh, I'm sorry, a series that everyone else has been watching on social media about some tigers, and
it's called The Tiger King.
The Tiger King.
And when he gets that title, that part is amazing because you figure out why he calls himself this. And oh my gosh,
I must have missed that. I haven't finished watching it.
You don't need to.
The show
it's okay.
Together by means, basically.
Well, if you can devote 5 hours to it, you probably shouldn't. But if you start to watch it, it draws you in, and it's just, it's like, can this be real life? It's just like that whole, when that kid's coming home from the dentist, is this real life? And unfortunately,
I think another shocker for me was that it was in Oklahoma. And why have we never heard of it? Like,
because it didn't get that mainstream, huh?
Right. Well, so not to give too much away, but one of the guys actually runs for governor and president.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
why we never heard about that?
That's why we never heard. But he
like when.
So in the governor race, he got 19% of the votes.
In Oklahoma?
In Oklahoma, yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty nice chunk.
The governor of Oklahoma, he gets 19% of the votes. I was like, wow, that he even got that. And the show, Jillian, the show is meth in itself, addictive but horrible for your health. That is like the perfect description of this show.
And that is exactly why I will not be watching it at all.
Well, but here's the thing. It doesn't jack with your teeth, so you're good.
Right. Right.
Jack what?
It doesn't mess with your teeth. Like, man. Oh, man. Yeah, so it's got suspense, it's got drugs, it's got animals, it's got drama, it's got all the above.
It's got drama for days.
Drama for days.
I had a friend who posted up, she said, I heard about all this tiger stuff and whatnot, and it just reminded me of a time that I was sad or something, and I had a friend who actually took me to his place, and then she posted up pictures of her holding a baby tiger, and I was all like, I can't tell if this is, it was a real picture. I just was like, I can't get, maybe she's being funny or not, so I'm not going to say anything.
Right. Well, if you're if you're Carol Baskins, that is exploiting those animals there. So
yeah.
But she has no room to talk. It's just crazy. Like I said, it's called Tiger King, but it's nothing about the animals.
Yeah, no. Those are just props.
Those are just props. So that was my
mentions.
That was basically my weekend. I should not have done it again. I probably wasted. I had started it and then I wasted 4 hours, a good 4 hours finishing it up because I'm like, oh.
Did you at least do it like fast forward speed? Do they have that option on wherever you watched it on?
Like again, you'll miss some characters that you didn't think that they even existed in this world. You're like, I thought it was like Beavis and Butthead sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's seriously crazy, and I can't even tell you how many were in the cast.
Right.
It's like, are these extras? No, they're main characters.
Like, who is this person?
I'm glad at least it gave you some entertainment this weekend.
It is definitely entertaining.
Entertainment.
I don't know if I call it full on entertaining. I don't even know if it was like worth it. It definitely wasn't worth it, other than I got to talk about it here on the show. And again, I'm not trying to give you any spoilers. Some of the stuff you've probably already seen online or whatever. But if you need something desperate to do, then yeah, go ahead and give it a watch.
That's my thing is I don't really feel like you were desperate. You were in a desperate need to watch that.
No, but I
just got caught up in the whole social.
To talk about whenever we came on the show.
Oh my gosh! Fair enough.
Because everybody remember that we were getting all kinds of comments. Joe, you need to watch this. Joe, you need to watch that. All right.
It was a highly suggested watch for sure.
Right, yeah, it was definitely a highly suggested watch.
But was it really?
It was seriously. Everybody
highly suggested.
It was.
So Sandy, what did you do this weekend?
Oh my gosh, what didn't I do? Well, I didn't go out and visit friends. That's what I didn't do. Okay, so probably one of the coolest things that we did was my brother and my sister-in-law introduced us to Pictionary Air. Have y'all heard of it?
Pictionary Air?
I heard of Pictionary, not Pictionary Air.
I've never played Pictionary in my life. I've heard of it here and there. But Pictionary Air is basically this pen that you draw in the air, and you have your. We use my iPad, and so you're drawing in the air, and so the iPad picks up what it is that you're drawing, and so you try to guess what it is that that person is drawing. So it starts out with simple little things. The one that I showcased and muted was drawing a balloon. And so,
is that what that was?
Pictionary air. So it was a balloon. And then it escalated. We started getting a little bit louder, a little bit more frustrated. So you have to be a calm family probably to enjoy this.
Okay.
So were you guys at the same? It's your house, or was it everybody was at different houses? Is it like an app or something, or what?
No. Okay. So it's just an app that you download on your phone, and it was just like if we weren't quarantined, then you could probably add more players to it. It was just us three playing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't research it enough to see if there was like a way you could invite other people to play.
Oh,
but but there might be, somebody that is more advanced than in IT and stuff. But yeah, so no, it was just us three. So we basically held the iPad up, and then later on after the fact, we were like, well, why didn't we prop the iPad up on the table? If we were laughing or something, then that other person was, couldn't draw correctly. At one point, Eric was laughing so hard he was jiggling, and so the drawing was kind of so. And then Eric was getting like crazy because he got flowers, so he drew a flower, and I'm like, flower, and he's like, no, and then like daisy, and he's like, no, and then I'm like, well, what was it? And he's like, flowers. And I'm like, but I said flower, it would have worked. So we started getting a little bit heated.
He was getting too literal, huh? He was like,
and then, okay, so who uses the word torpedo every day? Like I'll say bomb or missile or something. Of course.
I just play. I was just trying to back up Eric, even though he wasn't here.
Eric needs no backup whatsoever. And he was like, torpedo. And I'm like, well, missile would have worked. Like, well, it's an underwater. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know that? So anyway, we probably did about 5 rounds of it, and we're just like, okay, we're over it.
You're like, all right, you go here, you go there.
That was a lot of fun. It'll be a while before we pick it up. But anyway, it's a good game. Y'all should totally it was at Walmart before all this stuff. So
it's a game that you actually buy, and you
buy the thing. It comes with the cards, it comes with a pen, and it does come with batteries. So and then you download the app on whatever device it is that you're casting onto. So the person stands here, your iPad is here, and then you're watching the iPad.
Okay. So they're not. So in the old days, you actually had a pad of paper that you would draw the Pictionary on, and then people would flip it over or something like that to get to and stuff like that.
Yeah. No. So this one, constantly we're like, clear it out. So you can hit the little clear button, and then you can save some of the videos. So.
Oh wow.
So it saves that little clip for you, and like I said, I had to mute ours because we were just crazy.
I also know
it was fun, huh?
Yeah, no, it was really good. Totally, probably better than Monopoly, because we can't do Monopoly either.
I have never actually finished a game of Monopoly.
Ever?
No, because in my family, we were like cutthroat. Like we would never trade with each other. It's like, he's like, I'll give you this property for this property. No, and it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And so it just, nobody would get houses, nobody would get hotels. So we're just like getting around the whole thing forever and ever, and never actually running out of money or anything. And then, or you'd have to do some stupid trade, like I want 5 properties for Boardwalk, and I'm like, what? No, it was I couldn't stand it. We never finished it.
And then, like with us, Eric always tries to engage the boys with Monopoly because they know I'm out. That's too much for my brain. And so I would sit out, and so they would play. And then by the time you knew it, Alex was mad because we couldn't. We're sore losers. We couldn't handle it, so we're just like, okay, we're done. So yeah, we don't. I think the only thing that we can play and maybe get along is because there's money involved. Is Loteria.
Oh really? Oh yeah, yeah.
CLR.
Loteria.
CLR.
Yeah. Oh, and CLR.
Yes.
Oh man, Jamie, have you played CLR?
I don't think that doesn't sound familiar to me.
CLR stands for center, left, right.
No, definitely haven't played that. If I have, I didn't know it.
So, do you want to explain it, Sandy? You want me to?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so it's a dice game.
Okay.
And usually the way that the game comes, it comes with these little pieces that are supposed to be like your money, basically. But we actually play it with real money. And so the way that it works is we'll start with quarters. So you start with 3 quarters and there are 3 dice. So you roll the dice, and on those dice they have a C, L, R, or a dot.
Okay.
So if you roll a C, then 1 quarter goes to the center, which is the pot. And then if you roll an L, it goes to your left, whoever's on your left. If you roll an R, it goes to your right. And if you roll a dot, you get to keep it. So,
okay.
And so you go around that whole, and it's total chance. There's no skill whatsoever involved.
No skill, no cheating whatsoever.
No cheating. And so you roll the dice, and if you start with 3 quarters, if you get 3 R's, then you push that 3 R's, and then 3 of your quarters go to the right. And the next time, if you don't have any quarters, you don't get to roll. And you're basically not out of the game until somebody has money left. So at Christmas time, we play this at Christmas. And we start with quarters. Then we move up to dollar bills.
Dollar
then
bills,
we go up to $5 bills. And then we've done 20s.
Our final game
Are you serious?
$20 game, yes.
And so you're pulling money out of your own pocket if you're quote unquote losing quarters or whatever else. Then you start pulling out the big bucks.
Yeah, so to play, it's $60.
Oh, so you got to buy in.
You have to buy in, yeah.
Don't be playing if you're poor. There are no IOUs up here.
And if we start with quarters, and then there's people like, I don't have any dollars. All I got is this. So we'll like break change for everybody. Like it's like a little bank and everything going on.
That's how we make our money back at Christmas.
Right. Exactly. Last year I won the $20, or this past Christmas I won the $20 pot. So I think at 60 there were 4 of us. Was that right, Sandy? 4?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
no, wait. No, you're right. There was 4.
Yeah, so I won $240, or minus my $60 that I put in. But yeah,
I mean, we had bigger pots. I remember one time it's like we won like 300 and something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We don't mess around. We're serious.
Yeah,
no joke.
Hardcore.
So I can't believe this is the first time I've ever heard of this game. I've never heard of it in my life.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's very frustrating because we have, for the quarter game, we probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have like 9 to 10 people playing.
That was going to be my other question: is how many people? Like, is there a minimum max kind of thing?
No, not really. Probably 3 would probably be minimum, I would think. But like the more people, the bigger the pot can get, and it's fun. And then you're never, if someone has money on either side of you, you're not out of the game.
Right. You're still in.
Because even though you don't have money and you can't roll the dice, someone else might start giving you money.
Right. Yeah. So they could roll.
Okay.
Someone on your left, they would roll an R, and that would go to you, and so you still have that money until all the money gets into the pot, and that last person is the one that wins the pot.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun. I would definitely, if you can find that game, it's really fun. And so highlight the one that Jason Lawrence said, never played with more than quarters. Dude, once it gets set up into the $1 and the $20, you're like
serious, doesn't it? Man. It gets real now. You're like,
we get serious.
You're like breathing hard. You're like, oh my gosh.
It was the funniest time though.
You roll 3 C's. We call that a goocher. You roll 3 C's. That means you just put $60 all in the pot. And you're just like waiting for somebody to roll an R or an L so you can get some money in front of you so you can keep playing.
I mean, like we're jumping, we're yelling. we are loud. We are so loud when we're playing this game.
So, Jason mentioned that he can't believe it surprises him as cheap as you are to play with that much money. Right. Jason, did you hear the part where he won $240 in 1 year? So I think once you get a payout like that, you're kind of like
playing this for years, probably like 5 or 6 years at least, and that was the first time that I won the big pot. So
Beatrice says y'all played with scratch offs once.
Oh yeah,
we get crazy. We get inventive.
Yeah, so you keep the scratch off tickets just like dollar bills. So you would just like, or quarters. So you'd roll.
You mean like the lottery tickets, the scratch offs?
Yeah, yes. So you possibly could win more. Yeah.
So y'all go out and buy like $20 worth of scratch offs and you throw them in, and then the winner gets whatever the pot is, and y'all don't scratch them off until the end?
Yep.
Right.
You don't know if you're going to win or not. So you could, like I said, you could win more.
That is insane. You guys are crazy, man.
No, and what's funny is B was actually a recipient. She was actually moving out, going off to college, I think, and she was a recipient of somebody's quarters for her laundry.
Yeah,
someone gifted her those quarters.
Exactly. Oh, Jillian said on the scratch off, when we play with the scratch off, it's $1 million. We have them sign a document stating that they'll share with the family.
We always ask for half. We do.
You agree that if you win, you share this money with the rest of the family.
Beatrice, is that true? Is that really what y'all do? Because I'm not sure. I'm trusting this right now.
So, no, serious. We always tell everybody. Right. It's verbally.
It's verbal.
Oh, it's a verbal agreement.
We record it on the phones. This is a verbal confirmation.
See, the only games we ever play, and we didn't play much games when we were growing up. If it wasn't Uno or Monopoly, maybe. Now that I've gotten older, we play Scrabble and Jenga. That's all we play is Scrabble and Jenga. And I remember a few years back, I had some friends over at the house, and I even streamed the stinking game of Jenga because it was the most intense game I'd ever played. But it was Dekisa, me, and two of my friends, and I don't know if they were watching this, but Alejandro and Adriana. So all four of us were playing Jenga, and I remember we're playing, and it was like, man, this is pretty intense. And that thing was getting higher and higher. And then at some point, I just lost it, and I was like, what in the world? I started recording, and I was like, I can't believe this. This thing just kept going up and up. And it was like, at one point, there was only one brick for like 5 or 6 levels. And it was like, wow. This thing. And then there were several times where there was little kids in the house, and the table got bumped. And I was like, oh, it's going down now. But no, that thing would go like this. And it would be like, no, we're staying. And it was like, what? So we've actually played many games of Jenga in my family where I'm like, this thing should have crashed down like crazy. My wife and her family, when they were growing up, they played Scrabble, but never anything like that. My mother-in-law, who's a sweet and loving and just very quaint and love her to death, but when you play Scrabble with her, she transforms. I'm not even kidding you. This woman who's this tall, slender, great grandmother figure, like, she's so nice, and she'll be like, oh, it's okay. You can't get this woman mad at anything. But you play Scrabble with her, and she just, all of a sudden, you'll be like, you're playing, and she goes, oh, someone got brave all of a sudden. You'll be like, what'd you say, Mom? And she's like, nothing, it's okay. And then she just keeps rolling.
Not a word.
Yeah. And then I'll be like, I don't know about that word, Ma. And she'll be like, oh, so you want to challenge it now? Why don't you go ahead and challenge it? Just see what happens. You never know. And I'm like,
hilarious.
You're scaring me a little bit. And because if you challenge someone and you lose, then you lose a turn, and you got to take your what do you call it, off the board. Your word that you put. So you lose a turn. So you got to know what the word is. And when it comes to my mom, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know that I can challenge. Oh, and she was a librarian. She retired as a librarian.
Oh, you're.
So I'm like,
don't do it. Don't challenge.
I wouldn't even play against her.
So that's how it was for like the first 7 years of my marriage. I was like, this is so hard. I hate it, but I'm going to stick it through. And now I can bust out I can't remember what it's called, but when you use all the letters in one throwdown,
oh yeah,
you get like this massive amount of points. I've been able to do that once or twice, and so I'm like, okay, I'll keep playing.
It's called a Scrabble, isn't it? Isn't it called a Scrabble? Or is there?
Maybe, right. Maybe someone else on in the comments can tell us what that's called.
Right.
Jason says they play cards. He plays Cards Against Humanity.
Oh yeah, I won't play that.
I've never played it.
The kids. Oh, Sandy.
Well, then it just wrong. Eric and I guess.
Yeah, it's for grown-ups. It's for grown-ups.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it's like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's so wrong. Every time I play it, I'm like, I shouldn't laugh at this. This isn't right. This is not even, it shouldn't even be funny.
Really?
Yeah, so I've never actually played it either, but I've seen like people play it, and I've seen some of the cards and what they say, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really?
I see that.
So, another thing that we play when we go see our grandma, she's at a nursing home, Eric's grandma, and she loves to play, oh, darn it, Skip-Bo. And that's one of her favorite things to play.
Oh, the Keith learned how to play that a few years ago. I don't remember what it's about.
Is that the one where I've played that card game? I believe I just can't remember.
The person that came up with it is from Brownfield, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know a guy whose last name is Brownfield. I work with him. I'm like, man, there's a little town close to where I live called Brownfield. My dad's told me that. He's passed by it a few times. I'm like, yeah.
That's funny.
Jamie, so what was your weekend like?
Dude, so I followed suit with you, and I went ahead and spent all afternoon yesterday doing yard work.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, my wife was like, honey-do, and I was like, okay. And I went outside, and I was starting to rake up all the leaves, and I was like, oh, man. I usually like to just mow them and leave them there, but I was like, you know what? I feel like burning something. So I went to I shouldn't have, but I was like, I need to go to the store because I need to get some lawn tools, got some stuff, and I did the leaves and threw them in the trash can and burned them to Kingdom Come and burned some more and more and more. And I was like,
do you live out in the country that you can just burn willy-nilly?
I wouldn't say I live out in the country, but literally, if you ever wondered how does the country separate itself from the city, I live on that street that would do that. And so literally, if I step on this side, I'm in the city. If I step on this side, it's literally one street. If I'm on this side of the street, I'm not in the city anymore. So I'm
kind of like me. That's how I am.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we can do. A lot of people are always like, "What are y'all doing? You can do that." So whenever people are driving by, they're like, "Are you supposed to be doing that?" And I'll be like, "Leave me alone. Just
mind your business.
Just keep rolling. Just keep rolling."
So speaking of burning stuff, I have a story about when I may have started a fire.
I see you saying you didn't start the fire.
Was it a dumpster fire?
No, yeah, maybe.
He ran away as soon as
apartment.
It was at the apartment. Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that? Yes. So we lived in an apartment complex, and during my early days of barbecuing using charcoal, I was not good at it. So I thought that the charcoals were out. They were not heating up anymore. So I went ahead and took them over to the dumpster and tossed them in the dumpster. And then I went back and started another fire and with some more charcoal and got everything cooking the way it was supposed to. And then I noticed that there's fire trucks getting closer to whatever. And I was like, I wonder who started a fire. I start walking. It's like, where are they at? And I'm like walking that way. And then they pull up into our parking lot. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Did I just start a dumpster fire? And I did an about face, went back to the apartment. And I was like, I don't know what happened. I was barbecuing here and it was just crazy. But yeah, that was most definitely me because there wasn't anyone else barbecuing. And so if they really wanted to research it, they could have found me.
Well, and I remember I had parked my hideous car there and I had hoped it would catch on fire. And it didn't.
You're so bad, Sandy.
Do you remember my awful car?
I don't remember the fire.
No, I told everybody
the car or the fire.
Because I didn't tell anybody like before or during the barbecue. I told everybody after.
What was the purpose for the barbecue? Do you remember that?
Remember, we used to always get together to cook out.
I know. Like that. Yeah. Maybe that's the problem. It's lost in the sea, in the flood of all the hangout times at your place.
Yeah, we used to hang out quite a bit. So yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was for, but I remember that I may or may not have started a dumpster fire way back when.
Right, October of no, not really.
We'd only like to say that he was a pyro, but unfortunately, this doesn't fall into that.
Yeah,
one of those,
no, I think Jillian was referring to you being a pyro.
Yeah, you're the one that started it.
You wanted to set something on fire.
I was controlled with mine, and I know how to handle it. So I don't know if that considers me a pyro. Joe seemed to just be like,
"That is a pyro. You can control it and you can handle it."
Yeah, and
Joe's an arsonist.
Right? See, I didn't sit there and watch it burning. you wanted to burn it. You burned it to Kingdom Come.
You know what? Let's just keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Next topic. So, Sandy, you're right. So, Skippo, if you look in the comment, I'm not going to put it up because it's going to take up the whole space. But Skippo was created. It's based off of a game called Spite and Malice, and Minnie Hazel Skip Bowman of Brownfield, Texas, began producing a box edition of the game under the name Skipbo.
That is too cool.
How did you know that?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
I want to say that Grandma Berta probably told us.
Oh.
I want to say that she was the one who told us that.
Maybe Grandma Berta and Hazel were buddies?
Let's see, 1915 to 2000. Maybe they were.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was that, Joe? It looked like there was a phantom or something.
Oh, that was the jet.
Whoa!
You brought me cookies.
Hey!
Did you make cookies, dude?
Jet?
No, Kiki did.
Middle child, the monster child made it.
Monster. What a great... Stop calling her that. What a great job.
He just put that out there. She likes hurting me.
That's so sad.
We're on... You'll get CPAS called on us.
All right. So, any other games that you guys are playing out there? Throw it in the comments. I want to hear what other stuff people are doing. I thought it would be kind of cool, guys, if you don't mind me. I wanted to see kind of what were some neat stories out there from people in my feed. And so I actually did a Facebook Live video and asked for people and some stories and things. I wanted to share some of those things that people are doing. Okay. I'll just tell you some of the stories that I've seen, and maybe they'll spark something that you guys have seen in your feeds from people. And I was specifically looking for like examples from friends and people that I know versus hearing about stories over the internet or anything else like that, you know? So these are like legit things. So the question that I ask people is kind of like, what are you doing to be, tell me your most social and distancing story was kind of what it is. Now, some of these, I think they were just sharing based on what they felt like the question meant to them. I will share, I had a friend whose her mother, the kid's grandparents, it was her birthday, and it was also her daughter's birthday this past weekend. And so it was really cool. She asked a bunch of people if during this time, if they could go stop by and wish Grandma Nana and her daughter a happy birthday. And so she put some pictures on Facebook, and there was a line of cars. And
oh, wow.
Everyone had little signs up, poster boards.
Cool.
That is
and
really
they were and this was here in Bloomington Normal. They were driving by the house and honking the horn, and the kids and the parents, you know, they're throwing the posters outside of the car. Happy birthday to both the kiddo and the grandma.
That's
pretty cool. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like 3, 4, 5 cars. I gotta tell you, like, you could see the cars went far down the block. It was impressive, and I thought, man, that was just really, really cool. It gave me a smile. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I feel their pain. I feel their pain.
Right. But I was like, I'll go out.
Back to me.
Right.
Enough about you.
Enough about that little story.
Actually, you do have a story like that, Joe.
Yeah. They came and did. They put streamers on my garage and posted up a sign that said "Happy Birthday, Joe," and they did a little mini parade. It was awesome. You know, other than having the show on Friday and stuff like that, it was awesome to still get some, you know, some of that stuff.
Don't you have something? Don't you have a gift kind of from your birthday?
Oh yeah, yeah. Check this out. So if you know me, you know that I love Whataburger. So I actually got this little tumbler, and I was expecting kind of like a plastic cup,
styrofoam,
like hardcore, man. I was like, this is nice, and she even had coupons in it.
Who's she?
They were expired, so that was kind of a bummer.
Dude, I can always
bet
make
they'll
a coupon
honor
work.
it.
I was gonna say, Sandy, I can always make a coupon work.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's expired. People look at me, I'll be like, come on.
And I don't think she knew that they were expired, so it's not like she gave them to me as expired. But yeah, so sorry. Back to you.
No, sorry. So put that on my Christmas list or birthday list because I love Whataburger too. Unfortunately, we don't have that up here. But that's okay because Whataburger was sold to a Chicago company, and maybe we'll be getting some Whataburgers here pretty soon. I really hope so. Anyway, So I thought that was a cool story on my feed that I saw and wanted to share. Another one was, I'm tooting my horn a little bit, but my daughter's birthday was last weekend, and she was really excited for this. We'd planned it for months, to be honest with you. It had a limo involved. The limo was going to pick up her friends. They were going to take photos downtown and go to the hotel and party up there. I mean, it was more extravagant than I had wished, but whatever it was going to be. But we had to cancel all her plans because of the lock-in, and she was pretty sad about it. So literally at the last minute, it was Thursday afternoon, and I thought she likes Fortnite. I wonder if I could. Long story short, I was able to get her a virtual Fortnite birthday party on her birthday, and invited some of her friends that I knew played it, and some family down in Texas. Like my brother and my nieces and nephew showed up, and she was like, "Wait a minute, we're playing Fortnite. I'm playing with people that I know, and we're all." And it was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Wait, what?" And so I created a Facebook event, invited the parents, asked for their parents' usernames, and I was like, can they be on at least from 8 to 9 or whatever? If they stay after, that's fine. But and Eva, that was the latest she stayed up playing video. She played for like 6 hours video game straight through. It was so funny because I could tell when she was done, but she loved it. She was like, "Dad, my brother," she was like, Marcus, he's so awesome. He's so cool. She was like, and I was just like, man, and I could hear her talking all night long, and it was great. So for any of you that have kiddos or someone who's having a birthday during this time, I would definitely look into celebrating in an unorthodox way by actually scheduling a video game party with their friends, and some of them even donated money to me, and it went to her, and she ended up just buying the V-Bucks or whatever they're called for for Fortnite. So
exactly.
It was great. So that was another story. I've had people who've told me things like they're getting their teacher certificate, they're working towards their teacher certification. I've had people who are like, I'm teaching my daughter and my nephew home from school, home from school. Yeah, however way you want to say that, homeschooling stuff. I keep saying work from home, but I was like,
are you homeschooling your children?
Let's find out. Not homeschooling your children.
Okay, so we're all united in that.
I'm very hands off.
They wanted their independence. I gave it to them.
They understand the circumstances and the consequences of their actions. So
I know that's right.
I had people who were telling me they were practicing for marathons. I thought that was cool. Someone who told me they were practicing cooking, and in doing so, they were getting more confidence about cooking for other people. And so that was neat.
Wow.
I was told that their pastor was doing FaceTime with them. And that one really touched me, because not just the part that there was a pastor, but the person had told me that the pastor was FaceTiming people in the church, and that they wish people would FaceTime them more, and that they were lonely. And it made me sad, because I was like, so, and the purpose of this is not to share sadness, but to share with you all that people are feeling lonely, and so these face to face chats and stuff, it really helped people feel good. Joe, you said yourself Friday you had a blast, and you were smiling ear to ear all night and into the next day, kind of thing. And so those are real.
So if there's any upside to what's going on right now, it's that we have to learn to do different things to make people feel special, or kind of think outside the box, to because back in the day, we would just go, we're all meeting at the restaurant, we're going to do this, hi, bye, see you later. But now we have to actually become a lot more creative. And I think it makes people, for me, that's what made it feel even more special, is because, there was a lot more effort put into it, even though we couldn't be together, that type of stuff. So it's, these are the upsides to what's going on right now. And that's what I like hearing. And, it affected me personally in an awesome way. It's probably, like I said, one of the better birthdays I've ever had. So
yeah, and it was really cool because I haven't been able to be.
Do what?
He said he's only had 25 birthdays.
I've only had 25 birthdays, so
Yeah, so there's plenty more for you to be involved in.
Yeah. I learned about one of our friends, Amy Lee McInnes. So she started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she started doing Facebook Live videos on makeup that she promotes. I don't know if she's a reseller or whatever else. Amy, if you're listening to this or you're in here, tell us what it is, and so we can tell people to give it a look. But but Amy Lee McInnes there in Lubbock, she is doing Facebook Live videos on the makeup that she promotes. I think that was cool. I want to find
Amy that
her.
we used to hang out with. Amy.
Yeah, that's the same.
Oh,
Amy.
really?
What was her maiden name? I can't remember. I can't remember her. Was it always Amy Lee McInnes?
It was what was it? I can't remember.
I see the golden hair in my head.
It's Amy. Just Amy.
Amy. Yeah.
Yeah, just say Amy that we used to hang out with.
Yeah,
Amy that we used to hang out with. There you go.
She started me a caboose. Yeah, we actually went to we all went to Carlsbad Caverns together.
Oh, really? I haven't seen Amy in a million years.
In a million years.
So, let me tell y'all something that we did this weekend too. Eric and I downloaded TikTok. That is not a good thing. Eric said, Sandy, we've got to try this koala challenge.
Huh? Koala challenge?
And I thought, okay, let's try this koala challenge.
I'm on search.
Anyway, please Google it. And just know that if you're on TikTok, you can see mine and Eric's koala challenge. And just know that it did not go very well.
It did not go very well.
It did not. And it was, but the thing now is I saw this post. I saw they were like, my parents did it and they're over 40. And I thought, challenge accepted. So now I'm going to work. I'm going to work hard to get this koala challenge down. and if you watch it, it's ridiculous. Please comment if y'all have successfully done the koala challenge.
Let me tell you,
pretty funny.
What Jillian right here, the one that's on the screen right here, her TikTok she posts them on Facebook too. That's the only reason that I know about them. But she does some awesome work.
Jillian, have you done the koala challenge?
Yeah, Jillian, have you done the koala challenge? We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know, but she does. She's did the first one that I can remember is like she did a bunch of characters of Robin Williams, and she changed for each one. She would change her outfit and stuff like that. It's really
for real.
Oh, yeah, Jillian, share your username. I want to follow you.
Yeah.
Help us know, Jillian. I'm trying to find a picture that I feel like is appropriately okay.
It's not.
To put.
It's a video.
Well, but for the sake of putting it on the backdrop,
I gotcha.
I need a picture, and apparently, a lot of these pictures are a little. I mean, they're not bad.
She hasn't heard of it, but she's on it, so she will definitely put it up. And her TikTok tag is at Jillian Lyle. So
okay. I'm gonna find you.
Oh, here it
and
is.
mine are horrible. Like I've got like maybe 1 like or something. I've got like 5 videos up, but I'm still learning how to do it.
After tonight's show, you'll have 6.
Right. I'm still learning how to do it because there's so many really cool things that you can do. I mean, whatever.
So,
it took me a while to learn Snapchat.
So for those of y'all who are like me and just trying to figure out what this is, it literally is 2 people, one person who's the anchor and another person is just hanging off of them somehow.
Yes.
That's the koala challenge.
So basically it's kind of like Eric gets on a squat position and I have to climb onto his thighs and I have to basically
hey,
all over him.
Simmer down now. Simmer down.
But you have to be limber. And I thought, here I am, Mrs. Flex. No, I've got problems.
So y'all, okay.
So that's another thing that we tried.
So you need to give her a follow, and she will.
Yes. Okay. Let me get on there right.
Do it right now, so you don't forget.
Because I'm serious. This was hilarious, and I wish I could put my phone up to where y'all could see it, but I know that it's not possible.
That's too funny. Yeah, there's all kinds of dance challenges and stuff on TikTok. It's amazing but it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't even know. I've been told that I should get a TikTok, but I'm like, I've already spent way too much time on my phone as it is.
You're gonna get it.
Well, and that's how I am. Okay, I found you, Jillian.
So you did Tiger whatever shark this weekend. You're totally gonna do this. How does that person say? She says the tiki talkie.
What is
that?
it?
Oh, I sent you that video of that funny girl from this weekend, and she's got
Oh, what was
the
her
Latino
name?
family.
Yes, she was funny.
She's hilarious. I didn't send it to you, Joe, because I didn't think you'd think it was
Right.
Tiger Shark standards or whatever. Street
Tiger.
Tiger. What is it
Tiger
called again?
King.
Tiger King standards.
Come on now.
So
Not that hard.
if you really want to, I'll send it to you later.
Like here's Tiger King, and then here's my videos. So here's my TikTok video.
You'll get there, Sandy. I'll follow you.
We should do one for the show.
How?
That's the thing. We have to get creative.
Well, sorry, it's just.
Oh, I have to wonder. No.
Wait.
Wondered.
It's so stupid. In the middle set. There you go. Oh, you know what? We could do really fancy like this.
Oh.
Okay.
You got to do both arms, Joe.
I know. I'm trying.
You got to get him in the screen. This isn't that hard, man. Other way.
There we go.
Why you got to make it all the way up here?
You got to use the other hand, Sandy.
Oh gosh, help me. Help me, I'm poor.
Okay,
That's when you know it's gone too long. That's when you know it's gone too long. So I hope everyone enjoyed your time with us tonight.
On the weekend ketchup.
Yeah, on the week. I like weekend ketchup. That sounds fun. I like it. But come again tomorrow night. We'll see if we're gonna have a guest tomorrow, and we'll let you know what topic we're gonna have.
Yeah,
maybe it'll be the weekend ketchup too.
Fly off the wing. Yeah, we wing it. We're good at winging.
Yeah.
But anyhow, everyone, you all have a great night. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow too. And from us here at the show,
remember to wash your hands.
For 20 seconds.
You filthy animals.
Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.